Today's video is sponsored by ButcherCrowd. For 100% grass-fed, pasture-raised, and free-range meat delivered to your door across Australia, head to healthcoachkate.com/ButcherCrowd. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel and happy World Carnivore Month. That's right. January is officially World Carnivore Month, and yeah, I'm participating. So if this is your first time coming to my channel, then welcome. My history with the carnivore diet is as follows. I originally tried the carnivore diet back near the start of 2018. I did it for 1 week. Before that, I was eating a keto diet and a pretty plant-based keto diet. I still had this idea that meat should be limited and you should eat as many plants as possible. And when I first tried the carnivore diet for 1 week, I started looking into all of the claims around meat, around vegetables, anti-nutrients, all that stuff. And as I got deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, I started to realize that, oh my God, meat is actually healthy. There is nothing wrong with meat. If anything, we should be eating more meat, and plants might actually be a problem for a lot of people. And that initial week, I felt great. I had no cravings. I was never bloated. I felt energized after my meals. I wasn't tempted by any keto sweets or anything like that. And yeah, so I went back to a keto diet. Fast forward a couple of months, and my partner Max and I, we did the carnivore diet for a bit over 30 days. And that was a lot easier doing it with someone. And ever since then, so that was about mid-2018, I have eaten a mainly carnivore diet, but with a little bit of keto splashed in, ketovore, if you will, 𝗖𝗟𝗏𝗖𝗍 diet, keto carnivore. There's so many different names, but basically I eat mainly meat, some keto-friendly fruits and vegetables. But yeah, I thought I would challenge myself and participate in World Carnivore Month because it's been a while since I've eaten literally just meat. That's mainly what I eat, but it's not 100% what I eat. So today is January 3rd. This is the second day I'm participating because the 1st of January just didn't happen. So I'm going to show you what I'm eating today. I'm also going to talk a bit more about the carnivore diet. If you're participating in World Carnivore Diet Month and have any questions, hopefully this video is going to answer them about what foods you can eat, how much you should eat, questions about dairy, about cheese, can you only eat beef, all that. I'm going to talk about that a bit later in the video. Right now, I am actually going to a Pilates class. I've signed up for a 2-week trial at a Pilates studio near me, just to do something different. The gym was starting to get a bit repetitive for me, and I was just kind of losing that spark and motivation to work out. The class I'm going to is a reformer stretch class, so it should be pretty chill. And yeah, not going to film that, so I'll just check in with you guys afterwards. I love my cat and all, but these pants absolutely do not. Oh my God. All right, so I'm home now, and we are going to kick things off with the ultimate carnivore diet breakfast, steak and eggs. Now, in my last What I Eat in a Day video, I made steak for dinner, and I cooked it from frozen in the air fryer. Now, that was one of my first times cooking it from frozen in the air fryer, and I was just listening to Michaela Peterson's podcast this morning with Dr. Ben Bikman, and they were talking about how to cook steak from frozen in the air fryer. Oh my God, how many times am I going to repeat that? Anyways, Michaela swears that you need to put your air fryer to the hottest setting, and 10 minutes each side, the steak will be perfect. It'll be crispy on the outside and medium rare or medium on the inside. So I'm going to give that method a go. And honestly, if you are doing World Carnivore Month and you don't have an air fryer, you need to go out right now and buy one. It will change your life. It will make cooking so easy and delicious. So I just finished my steak and eggs, and oh my God, that was almost too much food. That meal was a lot bigger than the first meal that I usually eat in a day. Usually I have 2 meals a day, which is what I'm going to be doing throughout World Carnivore Month. But I also have a bulletproof coffee in the morning. So one thing I'm going to try to do this month, just to challenge myself a little bit further, is cut out the coffee. Now, I also want to say that it is decaf coffee that I drink. I gave up caffeinated coffee, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago now. And I do have a whole video on quitting coffee, so you can watch that after. But anyways, yeah, there's no real reason why I wanted to give up bulletproof coffee other than, just to challenge myself. Because I do find it is very beneficial for extending a fasting window in terms of a fat fast. But yeah, I wanted to do a true carnivore diet as much as I can. And yes, a lot of people do drink coffee on the carnivore diet. And if you want to include it, I think that's totally fine as long as it's not causing any issues for you. But technically, it's not a food that comes from an animal. Anyways, I want to sit down now and talk a little bit about what the carnivore diet is, why someone might want to participate in World Carnivore Month, and just answer some other frequently asked questions that I get asked about. So if you guys don't know, I actually have a coaching program that is a 4-week coaching program. It's called Keto to Carnivore. And in this coaching program, I help people to transition from a keto to carnivore diet. And like I said at the start of this video, I have been eating a mainly carnivore diet for almost 3 years, which sounds absolutely crazy. Time is flying. But when I first started looking into the carnivore diet, a lot of the things that I thought were flaws in the diet, such as no fiber and such as not being able to get the nutrients that are plants, ended up not actually being flaws. But anyways, let's start talking about what the carnivore diet is and what you can eat. So the carnivore diet is a diet where you eat only foods from the animal kingdom. So the standard carnivore diet, as I call it, includes all types of meat, all types of fish. It includes animal products such as eggs, and sometimes it includes dairy, so cheeses, sour cream, things like that. Now there is a stricter version where you eat only beef and ruminant animals, so maybe lamb as well, and you don't have any other types of meat, so no chicken, no pork, no fish, no salmon, no eggs, and no dairy. And this strict version is known as the lion diet. This version is suitable for people who have severe autoimmune conditions and are really sensitive to basically everything. Beef seems to be the one safe food that these people can eat, at least while they heal. Now, if you are doing the carnivore diet for weight loss, for blood sugar regulation, for improving your mental clarity, then you might not have to be as strict as the lion diet is. Like I said, you can include all types of meat. You can include eggs. If you tolerate dairy, then you can include cheese as well. Although one thing I will say is that if you do have weight loss goals, I usually recommend cutting out cheese for at least the first couple of weeks. After that, if you want to reintroduce it, you can. But I find that cheese can often be the cause of weight loss stalls. And there's a few reasons why that is. But yeah, if you really want to lose weight and you really want to dive headfirst in and get the best results, cut out cheese at least in the beginning and see from there. So now I want to talk about why the carnivore diet is so effective. And this mainly comes down to the fact that, number one, animal foods are the most nutrient dense in terms of bioavailable protein and also bioavailable nutrients. And the second reason is that you are cutting out all plants which can be inflammatory. And that might sound crazy if you are just now hearing about the carnivore diet, but plants actually contain things called anti-nutrients. Anti-nutrients are things such as oxalates, gluten is an example of an anti-nutrient, lectins. And this might sound a little bit crazy, but these are actually the plant's defense mechanisms. And anti-nutrients aren't some made-up term. They are widely accepted as being in plants. If you've ever heard that the iron in spinach is more bioavailable when you cook it, This is because of anti-nutrients. The anti-nutrients in spinach bind to the iron, so when you consume it, you can't absorb it. And there are these anti-nutrients in almost all plants. Now, some people can tolerate these anti-nutrients and certain ones better than others, so I don't think that everyone needs to avoid anti-nutrients completely for the rest of their life. However, this is one of the reasons why people see such amazing results when they try a carnivore diet, because they've completely taken out all of these anti-nutrients. How many times can I say anti-nutrient? Oh, and of course, the carnivore diet is a version of a low-carb ketogenic diet, so you get all of the benefits that come along with a keto diet as well. Now, probably the number one thing I'm asked about when it comes to a carnivore diet is, what about fiber? Because obviously plants have fiber, animal foods don't. But the thing is that fiber is non-essential. It is not required for human health. And you might be thinking, okay, well, how am I going to go to the bathroom if I don't have fiber? And the truth is, a lot of people see their digestion improve when they limit or take fiber out of their diet completely. And I know that sounds so crazy, but the thing is that we can't digest fiber. It just goes straight through us. And sometimes it even causes bloating. So when people limit their fiber, they find that they are never bloated. It's actually crazy. And yeah, I do have a whole video on the pros and the cons of fiber, because yes, it does potentially have some pros for certain people. But if you're wanting to try the carnivore diet and worried about fiber, don't be. Now, the other thing I'm often asked about is supplements. Do you have to supplement on the carnivore diet? And there are some different opinions when it comes to supplements. Some people think that you need to eat a carnivore diet nose to tail, and if you do this, so you're eating all the organ meats, bone marrow, things like that, then you will get all the nutrients that you require. But there are a lot of people who eat the carnivore diet with no organ meats. They just eat muscle meat, and there's some people who have been eating this way for over 10 years, totally fine, no nutrient deficiencies. So it really isn't known whether you need organ meats or not. In terms of other supplements, the one I would recommend is a good electrolyte supplement. There's one from Adapted Nutrition, which I will link below, and that one is really high in potassium, which is a little bit hard to get on any form of a low-carb diet. Beyond that, magnesium specifically might be something you need to supplement. And like I said with organ meats, we don't really know whether we need them or not, but I do think that just eating liver 1 or 2 times a week, liver is so nutrient dense. You just get so much bang for your buck, even eating it only a couple of times, and it's only going to benefit you if you include it. Now, if you're not a fan of liver, the taste of liver, cooking liver, which I'm not, then I highly recommend taking a beef liver supplement. You can take the capsules every day and it equals out to being a small serve of liver. And yeah, that's just another way to get it in if you do want to get some added nutrition without having to actually eat liver. But anyways, I just got a notification on my phone that something has been delivered. So we're gonna go downstairs and check that out. So I just received my delivery from ButcherCrowd, who is the sponsor of today's video. And if you aren't familiar, ButcherCrowd is an Australian meat delivery service. So they have a whole bunch of different boxes on their website. You can pick one, or you can kind of do a mix and match and build your own box. You sign up for a subscription, and then you have the meat delivered straight to your door every month. And the really great thing about ButcherCrowd is that all of their beef is 100% grass-fed, all of their pork is pasture-raised, and all of their chicken is free range, true free range. So as we were just talking about with the different variations of the carnivore diet in terms of the standard carnivore diet and the lion diet, one of the reasons that some people choose to eat only beef and to limit pork and chicken is because the quality is often a lot lower. It is a lot more difficult to get quality chicken and quality pork than it is to get quality beef, even conventional beef, because of the type of animals that cattle are. They can process a lot of stuff out of their system and upscale a lot of nutrients. That doesn't happen as much with chicken and pork, so it's more important to buy higher quality chicken and pork. So like I said before, there are several different box options. The one I have been getting for the last couple of months is the beef and chicken box. But if you do want to mix and match, the create your own box is for you. Now, this is my second order from ButcherCrowd, and like I said, they're sponsoring this video, but I've actually been buying their boxes for a couple of months. I knew I was going to make this video for World Carnivore Month, and I reached out to them, asked if they wanted to work together, because one thing I am often asked about is meat delivery services in Australia. There aren't many, or I can't even think of another company doing something like this in Australia. There's a lot in the US, there's some in Canada, but yeah, in Australia, there aren't many options. So when I first heard of ButcherCrowd, I was absolutely thrilled. And now I have something to recommend to people when they ask. Anyways, if you guys want to check out ButcherCrowd and you're in Australia, you can use code KATE15 to save 15% off your first order. Thank you again to ButcherCrowd for sponsoring this video. I should also mention that the steak I had this morning was from my last ButcherCrowd order. And the chicken that I'm gonna have for dinner is also gonna be from ButcherCrowd. So I'm just gonna leave that in the fridge to marinate for a few hours until dinner. But I wanted to talk quickly about sauces and spices on the carnivore diet. Are they allowed or are they not? So once again, as we were talking about earlier, this really comes down to what you are trying to get out of the carnivore diet. Do you have a severe autoimmune condition? If so, then you probably want to limit or avoid all sauces, all spices, just use salt. But if that isn't you, if you don't fall into that camp, then I think sauces are fine to include as long as they do not have vegetable oil. So a lot of mayos will have vegetable oil. You want to avoid those. And as long as they don't have added sugar. So these sauces from Undivided Food Co., which is an Australian company, these are awesome. They don't have any added sugar. Per serve, there's only 1.3 grams of carbohydrates, and this is absolutely amazing on chicken. So Undivided Food Co., this is a really great brand if you're in Australia. If you're in North America, Primal Kitchen, they have a similar product range, and I'll link to both of those in the description box down below. And as for spices, the same thing goes. And once again, we are going to be using my air fryer. I told you guys, if you are eating a carnivore diet and you don't have an air fryer, you really need to get one. But the air fryer I have, it is the Ninja Foodi, and it actually pressure cooks as well. So I'm gonna start off pressure cooking. The guide that came with the Ninja Foodi says to pressure cook on high for 2 minutes and then air crisp at 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. That is all it takes. Probably 20 minutes total once the pressure has built up in the pressure cooker, because it has to do that before the 2 minutes. Super simple. These are gonna be so juicy on the inside and so crispy on the outside. Oh, so excited. So I am not going to be able to finish all this. It might not look like a lot, but 4 drumsticks, it's a lot of food. And this is one of the things with carnivore, is that you get really in tune with your hunger cues. When you are only eating one type of food, it is really easy to tell when you're full and you don't have that urge to keep eating. Like if you were eating potato chips or something, even though you're full, you can just keep picking at them, keep eating. And I find that if you have a whole bunch of different foods on your plate and you're kind of having a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, it does something where your body isn't easily able to tell when you reach that point of satiety and you can overconsume. Whereas just eating these drumsticks, I was like, okay, should I have the 4th one? I'm kind of getting full. I had a bite and then I was like, nope. No more, completely done. So yeah, I'm going to put the rest of this in the fridge and maybe put it in an omelet or something tomorrow. All right, the sun is setting and I'm thinking I'm just going to get into bed and just read for the next hour and a half or so, hopefully. But what I like to do when I'm lying in bed, instead of having a normal light on, instead of having the ceiling lights on, is I have a red light bulb in my lamp from Blue Blocks. And this lights up the room. It's still a little bit bright out. The sun hasn't set quite yet. But this is bright enough that I can read with it on and I don't need any other lights. And also, the whole point of it is that there's no blue light coming off of it. Blue light suppresses melatonin and makes it hard for you to fall asleep and stay asleep and get a good quality sleep. So after sunset, you want to try to limit or cut off blue light entirely. And red light bulbs like these are one way to do that. You guys also know that I have my blue light blocking glasses. So those have orange lenses. I don't need to put them on if I'm just lying in bed reading. If I'm looking at a device, then yeah, I'll put them on. Or if I go out into the house, I need to turn some lights on after sunset, then yeah, I wear those as well. I swear by those. Even if I want to fall asleep earlier one night, I might put them on even before sunset. And I am so sleepy about 2 hours later. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of my first vlog for World Carnivore Month. If you guys are participating, let me know in the comments down below. Is this your first time trying the carnivore diet? Are you a pro? Have you done it in the past? Let me know down below. And if you are in Australia, make sure to check out ButcherCrowd if you're looking for a meat delivery service. And if you guys want to watch more what I eat in a day videos like this one obviously was 100% carnivore, but usually I eat more ketovore so mainly carnivore, some plants, as I said before. Anyways, you can check those videos out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it right here. And if you're interested in my keto diet and also my carnivore diet coaching programs, which I talked about earlier, you can find those here. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.